Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Dr. Eric Leire, who's CEO at Genflow Biosciences. Hi today, Eric.
Morning, Zach. Thank you for inviting me again.
Right, we've spoken many times before, and just before we get on to the latest news, maybe you can just explain to people what Genflow is doing and what it's trying to do and who it's doing with.
Yeah, we've done a secondary. It may be surprising for the shareholder of Genflow because we rely mostly on research grants. And we have a cash runway that's very comfortable, which is a nice position to be in for biotech these days. However, we IPO the company during the COVID, and therefore we had a lot of retail. And it was important to get some institutional. It was important to get some institutional from the UK first, to go to the US market where we can access American institutional. And we have to do our homework and bring some institutional in our cap table. That's what we've done with the secondary, and we're very happy to have a very serious institutional backing up now the company like Premier Miton. So that's very good news for the company.
So, I mean, that's the other point that I think people don't seem to appreciate how serious, obviously, what you're trying to do, what the company's trying to do is a very serious matter in the aging and life, sort of improving quality of life area. But you've also got the backing of, apart from Premier Miton, for instance, you've also got the scientific backing as well, which is very serious. And that, as a relatively small company doesn't get big scientific and credible people backing it unless you are serious yourself.
Yes, we're lucky enough to have a very high quality scientific advisory board. We have people like Vera Gorbunova, a very well-known researcher in the longevity field, but also people from the Buck Institute. We have people from Liverpool University like Manlio and Chiguera. And we work very closely with those people. Also, very important, we rely on research grants. And research grants is the best marker of the scientific quality of the company. As an investor in biotech, it's always difficult because to do the in-depth due diligence, it requires a lot of efforts. And everything is in the details, the quality, to have a nice story, everyone can do it. But to be precise in the detail, it's a little bit more difficult. And when you get repeatedly research grants, like we did from various sources, from the Estonian government, from the Belgian government, from the Wallonia region, that's in fact a validation of the quality of our science.
And that sets you apart maybe from other small cap biotechs, etc., where maybe one can say you're subscale or you're this or that. But in your case, you have that blue chip backing and blue chip scientific backing as well.
Yes, that's important because what we do is it's gene therapy, so it's already some kind of cutting edge science. And longevity is an emerging, it's emerging knowledge in the biology of longevity. So it takes a village. You cannot run a company all on yourself. You need to have multiple collaborations with people in the US, in the UK, in Estonia. We have collaboration all over the world because you don't want to reinvent the wheel every time. You want to collaborate with the best people in the field, and that's what we do. And that's why this company is also exciting, because we get all that, we can integrate all that scientific knowledge about both gene therapy and longevity into a product that will save life and bring quality of life of people. Our mission is to make people live longer, but longer without seeing chemotherapy, without seeing a dialysis machine. We are much more interested in the health span, how long we live healthier than how long we live. If I make you live until 150, but you spend 30 years in chemotherapy with an Alzheimer's disease and a dialysis machine hooked to your body for the next 30 years, that's a curse more than a gift. So it's very important for us to focus on delay not only age-related disease, but also delay all the bad stuff that happens with aging, the cognitive decline, the loss of muscles, the loss of the function of the immune disease. So it's not only age-related disease, it's more than that. It's really improving health span, how long we stay healthy.
I mean, I think the last time we spoke, you were talking about NASH disease or the fatty liver disease and your sort of therapy or treatment for that. Maybe you could remind us of how you're going with that.
Yes, NASH, or now MASH, not NASH is for non-alcoholic, and now MASH is for metabolic, and it's making bigger. It's a huge opportunity. 32 million people in the world. Market, the most conservative market size opportunity is $20 billion for 25. So you see a huge market. Silent disease, it's an evolutive disease. You start with accumulation of fat in your disease, in your liver, and then there's unfortunately inflammation, fibrosis. Then you have loss of function of the hepatocyte. That leads to cirrhosis, and it leads to liver cancer, hepatocarcinoma. It's becoming the leading cause of liver transplant. Being on the liver transplant list is not something I recommend to anyone. In the US, for example, there's a waiting list of 100,000 every year, 100,000 people waiting for a liver transplant. 1/10 of those people will die without getting their liver. So it's a huge unmet need. It has been very difficult to find a drug for NASH. Why? Because it's an evolutive disease. So it's like shooting a moving target. It's very difficult. Product like GLP-1, fantastic product everyone is talking about, work very well on fat deposition, but it doesn't work in NASH because there's no action on fibrosis, there's no action in inflammation. So you need to be able to address every step of progression of disease. One very important thing, there was no drug. Very recently, there's been a drug that had been approved through a fast track program because such an unmet need. Both agency, FDA, European agency provide fast track, and you can accelerate the development. So it's very attractive for biotech and pharma to target development in those drugs. You can go faster on the market, and it's easy to go on the market. Madrigal has been approved. It's not a fantastic drug, but it's at least it shows that one drug can be approved for NASH, and it's for us a very good benchmark on what we can do in terms of clinical trial and what we will face in phase 3 and what our pharma partner, because we will partner that after phase 2 when we have some kind, even phase 2A when we have proof efficacy with a pharma partner. We are very excited with this program, not only because it's a great opportunity, because we think we have a good shot at it. Because with our 26th centenarian, we have an efficacy on the fat deposition. We have demonstrated in our preclinical demonstration on efficacy on inflammation. It's well known for 76. Fibrosis with new mechanism of action, not only SMAD3 inhibition that we've demonstrated. Improvement of the hepatocyte function and tumor prevention, so prevention of liver cancer. So all along the evolution of the disease, we have an action, and that's why we think we have a very good shot.
Isn't the thing there also about what you're doing that it's just a massive leap in technology, if that's the right word, from existing treatments and drugs? So it's just like a 21st century solution where everybody else is still in the 20th century.
Yes, and for the patient, it's very patient friendly. It will be one injection. Why could you say it's an evolutive disease? It goes for years, and you do one injections. We break the vicious circle. It's when you have inflammation and then fibrosis, it's a vicious circle, and it leads, unfortunately, sometimes to liver cancer. And we want to break that. Liver is a very interesting drug for longevity, target organ for longevity company, because it's one of those rare organs that we can rejuvenate. If I cut half of your liver, your liver will regrow this lost part. So with one IV infusion, we hope that we can break this vicious circle and help the liver to rejuvenate and to bring a new liver. So it will be, yes, it will be scientifically very advanced, but for the patient, it will be very patient friendly and outpatient 2 hours infusion.
Just finally, you raised you raised this money, the latest fundraise through your our friends at Capital Plus Partners, and there's been complaints in the market that there's a lack of liquidity, etc. Do you think that this fundraise shows that there's actually an appetite for your company and for biotech, and maybe taking things to a new level?
There's always appetite for big return, big potential return. The downside is it's risky. In our case, we do everything to mitigate the risk. It's always, the ratio reward risk. Biotech, very high risk, very high beta. What we've done is to limit the risk. In biotech, there's two kinds of risk: financial and scientific. Financial, we rely mostly on non-diluting grants. We showed that we were able to attract some big backers like Premier Miton institutional. We will continue that effort with big institutional in the US. That's for the scientific risk. So relying mostly on non-diluting grants, fine. Scientific risk, how to mitigate the grants, as we mentioned, is a very good due diligence, in-depth due diligence. They don't come, without very in-depth due diligence. And also, this new funding and those new grants we got allow us to diversify our portfolio of product. We were once a one-trick pony, so not very attractive in terms of risk for the investor, because it's a binary proposition: success, big reward, but failure. We have now 3 programs, and we are allowed to, with this funding and the grants, to move 3 programs for the next 3 years. One in a progeria, very close to aging, the second in NASH, and the third in sarcopenia, the loss of muscle you find when you're aging. So by combining the diminution of risk between finance and scientific risk with a big reward, with still a very attractive investment proposition, I think.
Well, we all wish you well, and given that nobody's getting any younger, we hope that you achieve your goals sooner rather than later, because time is running out for some people. But we look forward to more progress. Dr. Eric Leire, CEO at Genflow, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Zach.